Balance.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome to Cable Channel 15 TV. David Black, Hayden Schultz, Ben Black, and our good friend Josh Nation on the call on the road in Corning in what has been a real dreary last couple hours. We got here about 5 o'clock, but we're set up under a tent. We're outside. We're in the elements, but we're very comfortable. And Hayden Schultz, it's a football game. Newport at Corning. On paper, the Hounds are the favorite right here, but you got to play the football game.
And that's right, David. And we talk about our offense and with Cash throwing the ball, and with the weather that we have tonight, throwing might not be the option. And of course, you got Joe Brodus back this week, so anytime you got that guy back in your lineup, it helps. And Julius Clark's also going to be back tonight after he had that stinger, and they set him out last week. So look to see the Hounds just go ground attack tonight and just try to pound it down the throat.
Ben, conference football games. We've got a couple of games after this one. Piggott next week at Piggott, and then a finale with Osceola. Big football game tonight. Osceola playing host to Piggott. That's a huge football game also.
Yeah, I'm eager to see the outcome of that ball game. It'll kind of give us an idea of who the better team is there. But both quality football teams, no doubt, David. And like you say, you can't overlook anybody. Corning is going to come out and play hard. We're at their place tonight, so we just got to come out and execute our game plan. It's probably going to be tough to throw the ball with the weather like it is, but hey, we're going to put it on the ground, give it to Monquel Cox and Theron Davis and Clemmy Alcorn, and maybe let Joe Brodus get a couple carries.
Well, you talk about Joe being back. He hadn't had a lot of opportunity to practice and mesh and be a part of a well-oiled machine offensively. We may see him a little bit more defensively tonight. I really don't know. I haven't talked to the coaches about it, but I do know this: coming back from the surgery that he had, the ACL surgery. I mean, he may be 100% and ready to go physically, as far as the knee goes. But for Joe Brodus to be back to where he was the last 2 years, he's not going to get back to that anytime this year. But he could be a great addition to this football team in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. And when you talk about a serious knee injury like Joe had, and you said it best, David, he's not going to be back to where he was last year or the year before. It's just a part of it, and especially when you have that big of an injury. But Joe Brodus, I'm going to tell you one thing about him, and if you've ever watched him, that kid plays 110% every single play that he's out there. So Joe Brodus with the high motor tonight. I'd like to see him get a few carries.
Pre-game show brought to you by Arkansas Steel Associates. We'll just probably be in an opportunity to just name our sponsors tonight with the conditions that we have sitting outside. We have a cover over our heads thanks to Jeremy Baker and thanks to Josh and Ben for putting it all up for myself and for Hayden, and we're kind of enjoying what these guys did for us. But it's a cool night, temperature about 50 degrees and a steady light rain as we start the football game. White River Medical Center and the medical complex in Newport from the White River Health Systems, also one of our sponsors in that. Martin Automotive kickoff coming right up. Here's Hayden Schultz.
Cash Forrester going to kick off for the Greyhounds. Try to kick the high kick, but it is going to go out of bounds. That ball's going to be heavy tonight, the one that Cash is kicking, especially with all the rain and when you have to come out here and kick in these conditions. So great field position for Corning to start off the football game.
Yeah, you never want to play in conditions like this. It's just not good for anybody. Very rarely do you practice in this. Throughout the year when it's raining, you'll most of the time either walk through if you don't have an indoor facility, or you'll go to your indoor facility and practice. So you never get a chance to prepare for games like this. Corning is making their way to the line, and we're underway.
Yeah, they've got two guys over here, and we've only got one guy covering. We've already got a defensive mistake right here.
Well, we got 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line, and they're going to throw the bubble out to 1, and it's going to be an incomplete pass.
Pass incomplete. Intended for
they had two receivers out here, and they only had one guy covering, unless the guy was going to come from the safety position over here to cover.
Yeah, that looked pretty strange there. I don't think we saw that.
Well, what I was thinking is, the ball went out of bounds. You get the ball at the 35, correct?
Unless it's further up the field.
I didn't think that I thought it went out a little bit further than 38, but we'll go. Looks like they're going to remark it now at the 39.
They just moved it.
Yeah, they got a +1 for an incomplete pass.
2nd and 10 Bobcats, and they're going to go handoff up the middle. Played well by the Greyhounds.
Comstock on the carry.
Up the middle. Clemmy Alcorn going to get credit for the tackle. Dalton Phillips also in that backfield.
Dalton Phillips making the stop.
Dalton Phillips, Alex Emery, Zane Watkins, and Spencer Molinak's going to hold down the defensive line. Linebackers, Clemmy Alcorn, Julius Pruitt, Julius Clark, and Spencer Murphy. You're going to have J.T. Haynes at the free safety, and your corners are going to be Monquell and Theron Davis.
Here we go, 3rd down and 11.
3rd and 11. They still have doubles down here, and we don't have anybody out there. Here's the snap. He will drop back to look to pass. He's got a guy open in the flats, and he's going to catch it, try to make a move, and played well by the Hound defense right there.
Nice.
Julius Pruitt coming
Pass
to make the
complete
tackle.
Hamaker.
Yeah, nice hit by Julius Pruitt, and Theron Davis there to make the stop.
More defensively, we had Julius Clark playing at a safety, and he had that guy covered. He just had a shade on him, and he was shading him towards the center of the field. 4th down and 9 in a punting situation for the Corning Bobcats.
Julius Clark deep for the Greyhounds. Now he is going to scoot up because of the conditions. And it's a high punt. Julius is going to let it hit. Now Julius is going to pick it up around the 28-yard line. Julius Clark makes a spin, and he will be brought down right around the 35-yard line.
Yeah, not a bad return there, bringing it up to the 35-yard line where the Hounds will take over.
Football game brought to you by the Sonic Drive-In and a new location out on Highway 367 North in St. Michael's Place at 1311 North Pecan Street. Merchants and Planners Bank and the Dillinger Funeral Home. Dillinger Funeral Home, a family-owned business that spent more than 80 years putting people first and treating customers like family at the Dillinger Funeral Home.
Now the Greyhound offense will come out 1st and 10. And Theron Davis going to get the start at the tailback position for the Greyhounds. Clemmy Alcorn, Zaywin Smith, Julius Clark, and J.T. Haynes at the receivers. Clemmy coming in motion to the top of your screen. Here's the snap. We'll go Theron Davis. Theron Davis trying to get outside. Theron Davis does. Great blocking on the outside. Theron Davis makes a guy miss. Theron Davis still on his feet across the 40, the 30, 20. Theron Davis is going to get in the end zone. Touchdown for the Greyhounds on the first offensive play of the game for the Greyhounds.
65 yards, I guess, from the 35, 65 yards for a touchdown, and the Hounds go up 6-0.
Yeah, what a run by that guy. You know, he's got tremendous speed, and if he can ever get to the outside, you know, nobody in our conference that I've seen yet can catch him.
And especially when it's cold and wet like this, it's going to be harder to grab a guy. A guy was obviously there for Corning to make the tackle and just doesn't come up with it.
Theron covering some real estate, Bratcher1realestate.com.
Rolando Noguez, the extra point is up, and it is good. Rolando.
Extra point's good.
That makes your score now Newport 7, Corning nothing. 10-11 remaining here in the first quarter.
Football game brought to you by Norman and Baker Pharmacy, Mary Davis and crew at their new location out at the former Kroger building. El Puente Restaurant. Great food, great service. El Puente, the City of Newport and the Recycling Center. Unity Health, Harris Medical Center, where they have the Greyhound luncheons each and every Monday. And also by the Bank of England Mortgage Company, Kenny Thaxton at the Village Mall, and NEDC, Newport Business Resource Center, the Newport Economic Development Commission, and the Newport Area Chamber of Commerce. Well, we'll have a big hit. Bad Boy Mowers hit of the week. And under the conditions, I don't know whether we'll bring a star of the game, a player of the game, and whether Coach Hansley will make it up here. Depends on how much rain we continue to have, and it's cold and dreary. And we hope to have the George Kell Motor Company player of the game and the Subway Coaches Report at the conclusion. Another Mark Martin Automotive kickoff coming up.
And Cash Forrester will kick off again for the Greyhounds. Cash going to go the high sky kick. Once again, it's going to be fair caught right around the 29-yard line for the Bobcats.
Hounds pretty good defensively the first time out. Defense will come back onto the field. 10-11 to play here in the first quarter. Hounds up 7-0. And again, on paper, we thought the Hounds matched up well against these guys. Guys have had a little struggle scoring points, but let me tell you what, they're working hard.
Here's the snap. They're just going to go trying to go quarterback to the bottom of your screen. Played well right there, Julius Clark.
There's a name we didn't get to hear last week, as we talked about. You know, he had a stinger, and coaches and the doctors wanted him to sit out a week. But we're glad to have that guy back.
Yeah, you look at Julius' statistics, you know, and he missed a half of the game that he got hurt in, and then he's missed a game and a half. And still in the conference ratings, the top of the conference in several categories, offensively and defensively.
Quarterback trying to keep to the top of your screen. He will be brought down for a gain of 2.
Amaker on the carry for
Clemmy Alcorn on the tackle. Julius Clark, we don't say enough. That guy on both sides of the football is just unbelievable what he can bring. And it'll bring up 3rd down and 7 now for the Bobcats.
Brings up 3rd down and 8.
Going to go heavy set to the right. Here's the snap. Quarterback's going to drop it. He'll jump on it, and it'll bring up 4th down for the Bobcats.
Yeah, and when the conditions are like this tonight,
4th down for Corning.
We're probably going to see that on both sides of the ball. Just trouble maintaining possession of it, and so on and so forth. But you know, you still got to play. You still got 4 quarters of football, and like they say, rain, sleet, or shine, we're going to go, baby.
8:40 clock moving. Hounds lead 7-0 here early in the first quarter. Hounds on the road at Piggott next week, and then play host to Osceola. A couple of huge football games coming up.
And 4th and 12, he will get the kickoff. Julius Clark's there to catch it. Julius will field it around the 45. Julius makes a guy miss. Julius now trying to get outside. Julius makes another guy miss. And then Julius Clark will be brought down around the 45-yard line. Great field position for the Hounds after about a 10-yard return for Clark.
Yeah, good return. Like you said, he got it back down to almost the 45-yard line. 8:16 remaining here in the first quarter. Hounds lead it 7-0 over the Corning Bobcats.
And Hayden pulls out the stat sheet.
Stat sheet brought to you by Brian Underwood.
Austin Lane.
The human highlight reel.
At 1st and 10 for the Hounds. Here's the snap. Cash going to look to pass. Cash has got Clemmy open. Clemmy's going to catch. Stiff arm. Clemmy still on his feet. Clemmy Alcorn still trying to get outside. Another stiff arm. And Clemmy will finally be brought down for about 11-yard gain. Clemmy Alcorn.
Clemmy is such a patient runner. He caught that ball. He sat there, and then he made a move back underneath and saw that there was no room, so he made another move back underneath, and he went back underneath 3 times, and then finally he found some open space and got a good gain for a 1st down.
Bring up 1st and 10 for the Hounds. Here's the snap. We're going to go Monquell up the middle. Monquell Cox. Monquell cutting back outside. Monquell Cox is going to get in the end zone. Touchdown, Greyhounds.
Cox on the touchdown.
34 yards for Monquell Cox. Got a 65-yarder and a 30 or 34, 33. What do you call it, Hayden?
I'd say 34. Give him an extra yard.
34 biggins for Monquell, and the Hounds covering some real estate again. BratcherOneRealEstate.com. Mary Reed and all her staff. You're looking to sell a home? Let the professionals at Bratcher Real Estate handle the transaction.
Snap, hold, kick. Rolando once again good for the Greyhounds.
Make your score 14-0. Greyhounds lead it over Corning with 7:42 remaining here in the first quarter.
Not sure you can see it on the video itself, but it's just a steady, light to medium heavy rain.
It almost looks like snow.
It does, doesn't it? And it almost feels like snow.
It sure does.
Hounds being very, very ginger with their time. That's the correct terminology.
I thought that was a spice, but hey.
They're gingerly walking out to the field.
Forrester to kick off once again for the Greyhounds.
MartinAutomotive.com.
Check them out. Cash with another high sky kick, and they'll let it go out of bounds. Once again, Corning will have good field position.
Hounds lead 14-0. They've had a 34-yard run from Monquell. Therian has a 65-yard run. Therian had a 97-yard run last week. And the week before that, he had a big run. And he was the Yarnell's Ice Cream Play of the Week. Hound's got some free ice cream.
And Theron Davis, after that touchdown, gives him 17 total touchdowns this year.
Wow.
Theron Davis, just a 10th grader.
Yeah, bright future for that young man.
12 on the ground entering the game. Now he'll have 13 and make it 4 receiving. 1st and 10. Here's the snap. They're going to give the jet sweep, trying to get outside. He does. He's got room. And there's a good hit right there by Theron Davis.
Comstock on the carry.
Also brought down by J.T. Haynes for the Greyhounds.
Davis on the stop.
7:23, and the clock continues to roll here in the first quarter. Hounds lead it 14-0 over Corning.
Football game brought to you by Farmers Tire Mart at 1501 Malcolm Avenue. Tires for cars, trucks, tractors, trailers, ATV, and lawnmowers. And Dr. Gavin McDowell, customized vision care in the Village Mall.
2nd and 5 now for Corning. Here comes motion to the top of your screen. Here's the snap, but it's a bobbled snap. Quarterback will keep it. He's hit in the backfield and will be brought down by a host of Greyhounds.
Grubb on the carry.
Depending on the spot, but it looks to be like a loss of maybe 1. Bring up 3rd down and 6.
Looks like Spencer Mullinax and Julius Pruitt in that tackle. Julius Pruitt entering the game with 60 tackles.
Wow. Pretty salty.
He is the leader for the Greyhound defense. I'm going to tell you what, there's some guys on the defensive line, Zane Watkins, Alex Emery, and Dalton Phillips, who are just 30 tackles apiece from the defensive line, and that's
pretty salty.
That's usually unheard of, especially when you only played 7 football games.
Yeah, and they normally don't ask a defensive lineman to make tackles. They say just, take up blockers, and we'll let our linebackers make the tackle.
3rd and 6 now for the Bobcats. Here comes motion to the top of your screen. They're going to fake and go underneath with the quarterback. Quarterback is going to get outside and then finally be pushed out of bounds by Spencer Murphy.
Yeah, there was no intent there, I don't believe. I believe he was trying to hold him up, and he just fell down.
And it looks like after the run, it will be enough for a 1st down.
That's another Corning. 1st down.
Yeah, I don't know that was intentional. I don't think any of our players would ever intentionally hurt another player.
Let's go and bring up 1st and 10 now for the Bobcats. Try to go dead play. It does not work. Corning now trying to get set up.
Play clock down to 5.
Here's the snap, and they'll hand it off to 44. He'll try to get outside. Give him a gain of 5 on the play.
Good, tough running there.
Zane Watkins on the stop.
51, Zane Watkins from the backside making that tackle.
5:43 remaining here in the first quarter as the clock continues to move. Score is 14-0. The Hounds lead it over the Corning Bobcats.
People have asked me, why do we give the score and the time so much? Is because somebody might just be turning on the television at that time or going to Facebook and watching, and they might not know the score, and we don't have any way to tell them other than to tell them. We don't have any way to show them.
They're going to throw the slant, and it's going to be incomplete. I didn't mean to interrupt you there, David.
Well, next year we're going to partner with the NBC, and they're going to put the score on there for us.
I heard that.
Not really.
Well, at one time many years ago we could do that. We did it. It takes another person. We used 2 cameras at one time, but it takes just more expensive, the camera people, and we had to have a producer and director that actually ran an audio video board. But we still get the same result the way we do it now.
3rd and 5 for the Bobcats. Here comes motion to the bottom of your screen, and they're going to give the jet sweep, trying to get outside, and there's a big hit right there by number 21, Julius Clark. Once again, it's going to bring up a 4th down for Corning.
Yeah, good job by Julius just coming up in space and making a tackle.
Brings up 4th down and 4.
Clock just under 5 minutes here in the first quarter.
Fourth and a short 3 or long 4, however you'd like to say it, and Corning looks to go for it here.
Watch the football.
Here's the snap, and they're going to go up the middle. Played well right there by the Greyhounds, and he'll be stuffed, and it'll be a turnover on downs.
You know, it's what we like to see from a Greyhound defense. You know, you're putting a lot on them, asking them to come out there and make those fourth down stops and those big plays. But time and time again, they produce. Number 44, Joe Brodus, entering the ball game and exiting the ball game. No,
Joe going to the sideline.
Not yet. They said they're going to wait one more play.
And I've talked to the kid, you know, after the injury, and he's just ready to be out there.
Absolutely.
He's just ready to play football.
Well, he loves the game, eats, breathes, and sleeps it, and he just passionate about the game of football.
Here comes motion. We're going to give it to Julius Clark, trying to get outside. Julius Clark looking. Julius Clark is getting outside. Julius Clark will finally be brought down.
Clark on the carry.
Right around the 26-yard line.
Out of bounds, so the clock will stop at 4:01.
First down, Newport.
Hounds get a new set of downs here.
And 1st and 10 for the Greyhound offense. Going empty set here for the Greyhounds. Trips to the bottom of your screen. There is a flag on the play.
I believe that's the first flag of the contest, and I like that.
Offsides against Corning.
It's going to be offsides against Corning. Give the Greyhounds 5 yards after the penalty. Make it 1st and 5 now.
3:45 to play here in the first quarter. Hounds at the 21-yard line. 1st and 5. Leading 14-0, trying to go up 3 scores.
Trips once again to the bottom of your screen, empty set. Theron's going to go motion. Cash is going to look to pass. Cash is going to scramble. Cash is going to just fight for the yards that Cash can get. Had no one open.
Seelig on the stop.
Just going to tuck it and run it. Cash going to get about 3 on the play.
That brings up about second and
down and 1.
Long 1, short 2.
And now Joe Brodus entering the ball game, and you can hear the fans getting loud for Joe Brodus.
Well deserved, man. He you know, like we said, loves the game, and just when I heard that he got hurt, just heartbreaking injury.
Here's the snap, and we will give it to Joe Brodus up the middle. Joe Brodus
doing what Joe does well.
Give the Greyhounds another first down. Joe Brodus give him 5 on the play.
Richard Stokes on the stop for Corning.
That's what Joe can add. He can add the
First down, Newport.
straight ahead back to go along with our speedsters.
1st and 10, here's the snap. Cash going to look to pass. Cash has got Julius open and just overthrown.
Pass incomplete.
And again, the weather taking a toll on this game here tonight. 2:34 remaining here in the first quarter. Hounds lead at 14-0 over Corning. Joe Brodus will stay in the ball game.
Second and 10 for the Greyhounds. Ball at the 13-yard line. Here's the snap, and we're going to go Joe. Joe cutting it back up. Joe Brodus with a stiff arm. Joe Brodus still on his feet. Joe Brodus first down. Going to be just short of the goal line.
Just happy for that young man to, you know,
First
get hurt.
and goal for Newport.
You know, looking at your senior year, chance may not ever get to play again, and just for him to make that recovery, that's just exciting for me. I know it is for him.
Go tight end H-back here to the right side. Here's the snap, and we'll go Joe that way. Joe Brodus just sticks his head down. Joe Brodus going to get in the end zone. Touchdown Greyhounds, and the first touchdown of Joe Brodus' senior year.
Yeah, that's good right there. I mean, that's fantastic. That's good football, and let me tell you what, everybody will rejoice for him. And even the guys, the speedsters, those guys lose a couple of carries during the course of the ball game, but I promise you, they're team oriented and they're excited for Joe Brodus and know what they can do, and then what Joe can add in a little different capacity to this football team.
Tarwater snap, Murphy hold, Noguez kick, and it is good.
Covering that real estate for BratcherOneRealEstate.com. Mary Reed and all the crew at Bratcher Real Estate. Football game brought to you by Robert Turner at 2802 Stegall Road, a financial advisor for Edward Jones, and the MPOC Orthopedic and Sports Medicine Clinic, White River Health System, committed to providing the best possible care utilizing the latest innovations in surgical and non-surgical bone and joint care. White River Area Agency on Aging, next to Glass Plus, 1200 Highway 367 North, and Jackson's Funeral Home. Our family serving your family, care and comfort in your family's time of need. The Jackson's Funeral Home. And 42 Sports and Alan Russell. He said he'll be there. His camera crew will be there on the Osceola football game in a couple of weeks. Looking forward to them being there. You can check them out on Facebook at 42 Sports. It's 42, the numbers, Sports. Alan Russell. And don't forget about all the great lunch at Sam's Diner downtown Newport. Lunch and breakfast 5 days a week. You can't get a better meal in town than you can at Sam's.
The bright gray building.
Beautiful, bright gray, off gray looking, beautiful. It's not yellow anymore is what you're trying to say.
That's what I'm saying.
Mark Martin Automotive Kickoff coming right up.
Cash Forster will kick off for the Greyhounds once again. Another high sky kick, and there's a big lick, and it's going to be a fair catch. Force close to us on Corning sideline. Just heard a noise when I was looking up. Big lick right there.
Well, each time we've kicked off, Corning's had one guy that goes directly and tries to hit one of our guys, and very good, fair, legal play, and pretty good knock right there. Hounds 1, Bobcats none.
.210 remaining here in the first quarter. Hounds lead at 21-0 over the Bobcats.
That'll be 1st and 10 for the Bobcats. Ball off the 21-yard line. Here's the snap, and they're just going to go dive. He's met in the backfield, and here come a host of Hounds to bring him down.
Richmond on the carry.
Be a loss of 1 on the play, make it 2nd and 11.
Second down and 11.
Second and 11 for the Bobcats. Here's the snap. Low snap. Quarterback going to look to pass. He's got a guy open in the flats. He's going to throw it. And then here's a fumble caused by Theron Davis. And Julius Pruitt's going to jump on it. Greyhound ball.
Boy, Theron Davis on both sides of the football is just a real good football player. Great recovery by him coming up to make the stick.
Hounds will take over at the 28-yard line. Cash Forster getting the play from the sideline, coming in. And Monquel Cox at the tailback position for the Greyhounds. Trips to the top of your screen with Clemmy, Julius, and JT. Here's the snap. High snap. We're going to get it off to Monquel Cox. Monquel Cox going to get outside. Monquel across the 10. Monquel cuts it back, and he's going to the end zone. Touchdown, Greyhounds.
.28, 27, 28 yards.
Yeah, I'd say 28.
I don't know where we're headed. I heard the rev. I heard the rev over there.
Brother Herb Wilson in the house. We missed him last week, but glad he's back with us this week.
Snap, hold, kick. Rolando once again good. Your Hounds lead it here 28-0 over the Bobcats.
Extra point attempt's good.
47 seconds remain. As Hayden said, we lead it 28-0 over Corning.
Been an awesome first quarter for the Hounds. Just, in all fairness, they made it look pretty easy. We are sitting in the stands at Corning's side, so we have to kind of be careful what we say and don't want to offend anybody. But
yeah, we always want to be respectful of
absolutely
everybody else's feelings.
Absolutely. These kids are out here, they're trying hard. They're 22 strong. And Corning, a very, very proud football tradition-rich school. Great football teams, the 50s and the 60s and 70s. Had some fantastic years.
Cash Forrester to kick off. Another Mark Martin kickoff for the Greyhounds. And a high kick once again. And the ball's on the ground. It looks like the Greyhounds are going to jump on it. Theron Davis jumps on it. Greyhound football at the 30-yard line.
Well, it's unfortunate that's the second turnover that, Hounds will get deep in Corning territory.
Davis on the recovery.
And Corning will elect to call a timeout here.
And that will give me an opportunity to talk about Glass Plus, located at 1110 Highway 367 North, handling residential, commercial, and automotive glass. We do mirrors, screens, prints, picture framing, auto glass repair and replacement. Give them a call at 523-3505 Glass Plus. Sam Nicholson Farms, supporting Greyhound athletics for over 4 generations with more on the way. Mark Manning Shelter Insurance, auto, home, life, business, renters, we're your shelter, located at 1400 Malcolm Avenue. B&T Battery, Neil and Keith, the battery guys. We'll handle all types of batteries for your automobile, your boat, your ATV, golf carts. Service on golf carts also at B&T Battery. Lou Allen and Company.
Here. You can come up here and see Jackie, and she'll be glad to sell you.
Larry Lou Allen and family, all types of accounting service, tax prep services, and planning. Give them a call if you need their services at 523-6764. Doyle Family Farms, and saluting the Newport Greyhounds and Mickey Doyle family, extremely involved in the Greyhound program from Pee Wee all the way to senior high school. Good luck to the Hounds from the Doyle Family Farms. In the Churchman's Building Center, Ace Hardware. We're more than just a building center. You can get carpets, you can get paint, Carhartt clothing to go along with everything you need for the building projects, from minor repairs to major renovations. Ace is the place on Highway 367 North in Newport. The Churchman family. 1st and 10 for the Hounds.
Empty set for the Hounds. Forrester will look to pass. Forrester's got Theron Davis open. Theron Davis is going to catch it, and it's going to be another touchdown for the Greyhounds.
36 yards from Cash Forrester to Theron Davis. We'll put the Hounds up 34-0. We aired out the real estate then for Bratcher One Real Estate. PAT coming up right here.
Gavin Tarwater snap. Spencer Murphy the hold. Orlando Noguez the kick. They say no good.
Extra points, no good.
Well, that's not very, it's very unusual for Rolando, but they've got guys on both sides. Uh-oh, we've got a man down here.
On an extra point. Zach Hoyt, who does an outstanding job for the Newport Greyhounds, and he's out to check on the injured player, and Rolando misses few. Score 34-0 with 40 seconds to play in the first quarter. And I guess another first play touchdown. 36-yard pass, was that right? 31-yard, 36-yard, I think.
31.
31-yard.
Makes your score 34-0. Hounds lead it over the Corning Bobcats.
Iberia Bank, located at 200 Olivia Drive here in Newport, offering all types of checking services. Billy Keaty and crew, good luck to the Hounds and to the Pups. We're going to try to get a number of who's injured there if we can.
I believe it's Gavin Tarwater.
Haynes got out the stat sheet once again, going to give us some Good stuff.
Well, Cash Forrester, I mean, we talked about him all year. Cash just shy of 1,500 yards, and he will have 1,500 after the game tonight after the touchdown pass there. Cash Forrester, who has been remarkable. And, you know, the thing that we talk about it, but they don't get to see it, and the fans really don't appreciate it. It's the offensive line to give Cash that time. And I wish I had it on here how many times Cash has been sacked this year, but
not very many.
It's not
very many.
I can almost, you can take it to the bank. I can count it on one hand.
Or hit, or flushed.
Yes.
I don't remember any.
Corning will just field it.
I saw something, I guess it was yesterday, and it was talking about offensive linemen. And here's an interesting statistic as such. In football, and in sports, in all sports.
There's a flag on the play on the far sideline.
For something, and while we sort this out, I'll tell you about this. The offensive lineman.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against Newport.
Oh, wow. Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Greyhounds will cost them 15. Where there are really no official stats kept for the offensive line, and it's one of the only sports where your job is to help the other guy do good things. Your job is to block so the running backs can score. Your job is to block so the quarterback can throw. Your job is to block so the receiver and the running backs can score touchdowns. And they don't keep stats for that. Now, they might keep stats for pancake blocks, but it's not an official stat.
Just go dive right there for the Bobcats. Give them about
Julius Clark on the
4
stop.
on the play. We're getting a little chippy here, and this is not the time.
No, we just need to keep our mouth shut and go back to the huddle.
Every play. Yeah, Coach Mark Hinsley will not be too thrilled with the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty out there, I can assure you.
The clock continues to roll, now under 5 seconds, and it looks like Corning's just going to let it roll here to end the first quarter. Your Greyhounds lead it 34-0 over the Bobcats.
Man, the Hounds offensively have just dominated the first quarter.
Yeah, they've just been unstoppable, and just such an explosive offense. As Hayden's been reading you these stats, I mean, not very many quarterbacks and running backs and offenses, for that matter, have stats like this in this conference.
You know, and it starts from the snap. You got to have a good snap. Only a few times this year have we had a snap that might have been a little high, and we struggled with that the last couple of years with snaps during the course of the year, but more from the offensive center position.
Gideon Ball.
Yeah, it has been absolutely solid as a rock all year long.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he's been good. He's been excellent.
And Theron Davis entering the ball game just over 800 rushing yards and getting over 10 yards a carry. So every time Theron gets the ball, it's a first down. If you want to go by numbers, I mean, that's just remarkable. And Julius Clark, every time he catches the ball this year, it's a 16.3 yard catch.
That's phenomenal.
That is absolutely amazing.
And thanks to Brian Underwood and the
Sounds of the Hounds.
Oh, you bet. Kevin Pierce.
Theron Davis just over 19 yards a catch. And here's the snap for the Bobcats. He's met in the backfield by big Alex Emery.
Looked to
be like a little reverse there, but the Hounds sniff it out.
You know, we don't get a chance to talk about those guys on the radio, and Kevin and Shane Hutchison and the human highlight reel. Ricky Morales doing some sideline reporting. And, I mean, these guys give to the program. They don't only announce on Friday night. I mean, they're there for the Pee Wee games. They're there for the junior high games. They're there for seventh grade games. These guys give. They give a lot to our program.
3rd and 6, quarterback trying to get outside. Zane Watkins played well right there. It'll be a loss of about 6 on the play and bring up a 4th down.
Zane Watkins has played like a 3-year All-State player this year. I mean, he on both sides of the ball. He has been very, very good. All-State caliber year for sure.
We say his name week in and week out, and every time you try to run outside on Zane Watkins, I'm telling you,
it's trouble.
It doesn't happen.
10:42 remaining here in the second quarter.
And 4th down 11 for Corning. They look like they're going to go for it. And they will elect to call a timeout here
Corning.
to talk it over.
I noticed that the Corning coaches have shorts on tonight, and that's okay because I want to talk about my good friend Bob Tucker.
He's got pants on.
He has pants on tonight, absolutely. I can't see it over there, but I saw him before the game, and Bob made a very good look. We're zooming in on Bob. We can find him. Look at that. That's unbelievable. I can see that on the monitor. That's unbelievable. I got all over him. I said, I cannot believe. I said, this is at least the second time I remember in the 97 years that you've been on the sideline over there. That's what I told him. We appreciate what Bob Tucker does.
Absolutely.
Gives of his time. Alton Walker, and boy, how instrumental was Alton Walker in the putting on. And got to talk about the '68 reunion last week, and I guess we're back to play. We'll talk more about it here in a little bit, and I want to try to thank some people. They're going for it.
Here's the snap. They're going to look to pass. Looking for the screen. It's sniffed out by Dalton Phillips. Dalton Phillips, he makes a guy miss, and then just going to dump it off and makes another guy miss, but he's going to be short. And they said there's a fumble on the play, but Dalton Phillips had a big chance right there, and you can see it. He's disappointed right there. He wanted that sack, but it's going to be a turnover on downs here, and the Greyhounds will take over.
Hounds up 34-0 here. We're in the second quarter. 10-17 to play, and they'll take over the football at wherever Hayden says that it is.
Looks to be at the 38.
Good enough for me.
Here's the snap. Joe Brodus in the ballgame. Joe Brodus up the middle. Joe Brodus running over a guy. Give him 6 on the play.
On the carry.
Yeah, good hard running by Joe. That's what that guy brings to the table. Just straightforward, hard-nosed running.
Riley Grubb making
Amanda Reynolds is joined Bratcher Real Estate at 732 Malcolm Avenue in Newport. Her phone number is 870-217-2133 as the Hounds come to the line of scrimmage.
2nd and 4 for the Hounds. Here's the snap. We're going to go Joe Brodus up the middle once again. Joe Brodus running another guy over, and Joe Brodus going to be brought down just short of the first down.
Carry.
Clock down to 9:25 remaining here in the first half.
3rd down and 2.
Sound like some water there on the tent. Monquel Cox in the ball game. Offsides play, and Corning will jump off sides and give the Hounds a first down.
Offsides against Corning. 1st down, Newport.
There's 100 or so fans over across the way for the Hounds. Maybe. Yeah, there's 100, 150.
150?
Maybe. I mean, I can't see that far. It just looks like there's some people over there.
We do have a pretty good crowd, especially with the conditions we have tonight.
I can't see that far. I just looks like there's some people sitting
Here's
over there.
the snap. Forrester going to look to pass. He's going to throw it to Clark. Clark makes a good catch, and Julius Clark makes another guy miss. Julius Clark will finally be brought down inside the 10.
What a pass and catch from Forrester to Clark there. They've just been a deadly combination all year.
Pass complete to Clark. 1st down, Newport.
2 guys right there who no question will be all-conference guys, but 2 guys right there that could possibly be all-state players.
Yep, very, very possible. Clock just under 9 minutes.
Well, there won't be enough spots for all our all-staters, I promise you that, because we've got a chunk of them.
JT Haynes in motion. We'll give it to JT trying to get outside. JT does get outside. JT's going to get end zone. Touchdown, Greyhounds.
Covering that real estate, Bratcher1realestate.com.
Makes your score 40-0 as we await the extra point from Rolando Noguez.
Lauren Sampson, and Carol Ann Young, Amanda Reynolds, all with Mary Reed.
Rolando Noguez, good.
Yes.
Makes it 41 Greyhounds, Corning nothing.
Brian Smith, and Farm Bureau agency manager and big hound supporter and supporter of all types of activities throughout Newport and Jackson County. We thank Brian for being a part of the broadcast here, located at 206 North Harwood Street, Newport. He spent a lot of time volunteering his time, did his dues, and working in the press box and working with the Booster Club. And
Pee Wee football, I remember there was tons of games that I played Pee Wee football. He was out there officiating.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Going back talking about that 6-day reunion, and it was just absolutely phenomenal. Over 30 guys showed up. We honored almost 40 people total, and I know that Megan Doyle helped us out tremendously at the Newport Booster Club, and Dr. Bennett and all his crew over there allowed us to use the new lobby, and it was a beautiful venue for the reunion and for the meet and greet that we had. We'll talk more about it here in a little bit.
Another high kick for Forster. Looking to return, and the Greyhound defense or kickoff team will bring him
Crosby
down
on the return.
Around the 35-yard line.
Smith on the stop.
And here's something that surprisingly enough, I had a lot of guys tell me that they watch our football games either on Facebook or on YouTube or on our website. Even guys that I've talked to guys this past week that graduated in 1965 that say they still watch our football games and our broadcast. So thank you.
Well, Facebook and the internet is a tremendous tool to get that game out there worldwide. You could be in Europe and by the click of a button you can watch the Greyhounds play.
Yeah, and 42 Sports, they air our football games also. And
1st and 10. Here's a snap. Going to look to pass. Going to throw it out to the back in the flats. He's got a man, Julius Clark, there to bring him down.
Pass complete to Richmond.
Just a tremendous tackle in space there by Clark.
Julius Clark on the stop.
Lynn Minor Hare helping Linda Black and doing the hosting of the reunion that we had last weekend, and Alton Walker with a super job. Anthony May, he came and did some filming for us and also some other work for us on some labels for our CDs, and Alton doing our name tags, and Amanda Reynolds for helping us with the T-shirts. Thank you, Amanda. We appreciate you there.
2nd and 8 for the Bobcats. Here's the snap, low snap, handled. Trying to throw the screen pass, wasn't there. Played well by the Greyhounds and will be brought down for a loss.
Grub on the keeper.
And Julius Clark a little
Emery on the stop.
shaking up. Looks like his ankle. He's going to walk off the field and he'll be fine.
He's going to hop off, looks like. That's not good. Looked like he got hit late.
Yeah, I thought it was a little extracurricular there.
You still have some of those DVDs, David?
I do.
I want to get me one.
I got you covered. I got you covered.
One.
Yes, sir. Well, on the DVD is the 1968 Newport Greyhound and Baseball Pioneers. Let me tell you what, folks. Defensively, we were awesome.
Jagger Robinson, number 53, checks in the game.
Here's the snap. Going to try to get outside with the jet sweep. Played well by the Hounds. Still on his feet, and then the ball is on the ground.
Fumble on the play. Newport football.
And it looks like we're going to say Newport football.
Pruitt on the recovery.
I believe that's the third turnover for the Greyhounds tonight.
Brenda Benish, Modern Woodman of America at 106 South State Street, making a positive impact in our community, being part of something bigger than yourself, Brenda Benish. And I Care RX Pharmacy at 1117 McLean Street in Newport. Eric and Katrina Schaffner, free delivery. Let us help you be well at 523-5555. Purdy's Flowers and Gifts. John and Sheridan Chadwell, gifts for all occasions. Beautiful flowers. Purdy's a Newport tradition, just like Greyhound football. And Mark McGoy Farms, proud to be a part of the great Greyhound tradition. McGoy's saluting the 2018 Newport Greyhounds.
1st and 10. Joe Brodus in the ball game at tailback. Here's the snap. We'll give it to Joe up the middle. Joe Brodus A tough running for Joe Brodus. Give him 5 on the play.
Yeah, just excellent job
Brodus on the carry.
running the football there by Joe.
Clark on the stop. Gain of 3.
Clock is continuing to roll here. I didn't know if we had the sportsman. What do you call the rule?
Second down,
The gentleman's
6.
rule.
The gentleman's rule. I thought maybe it had to wait till the second half to go into effect, but we're gentlemanly running the clock here in the second quarter.
2nd and 5 for the Hounds. Here's the snap. Forrester going to look to pass. He's got Zaywin open. Zaywin Smith is open. Zaywin stiff arm makes a guy miss, and then Zaywin Smith will be brought down just short of the sticks. Clemmy Alcorn, a guy who we've asked in Joe's
Ringo on the
absence to
stop.
be that guy who's the bruiser inside, and going to move Clemmy now more at the receiver position. Going to see him more in the slot. He'll play a little bit of H-back.
He can play anywhere.
Clemmy Alcorn will do anything for you. I had the privilege to coach him in summer baseball this year, and he'll do whatever you say. If you tell him put him in right field, he'll do it. You tell him go to catcher, he'll do it. I mean, Clemmy Alcorn just one of those kids who just wants to be out there and loves being a Greyhound.
Well, he gives it his all every play, and you can see that on the film.
Here's the snap. Joe Brodus up the middle. Joe Brodus cutting back outside. Joe Brodus, a stiff arm makes another guy miss. Joe Brodus finally brought down inside the 5.
Brodus on the carry. Amaker on the stop.
Joe Brodus.
We said that name. I couldn't tell you how many times last year. Joe Brodus.
Joe Brodus!
Well, it's just like we've talked about, man, it's just so exciting, and I'm so happy for him. Facing maybe a
First
possibly
and goal
career-ending
for Newport.
injury, and here he is battling back.
Joe getting checked out of the ball game, and Monquel Cox checking in for him. Empty set for the Hounds.
Clock down to 3 minutes remaining in the half.
Here comes motion with Monquel. We're going to go jet sweep. Monquel's going to cut it back up. Spin move. Monquel trying to get the end zone. He's going to lay out for it, and they're going to signal touchdown Greyhounds.
Monquel Cox.
Touchdown.
Make your score now 47 as we await the extra point from Rolando Noguez.
Clock does not stop here, even on the touchdown, so Hounds ought to be able to run at least a couple of minutes off here. It's 2:24 clock moving. May not have to kick if we take our time. Talking about on the kickoff. It's going to be a short second half.
A bad snap. Spencer Murphy's going to pick it up, and he's going to throw it, and the 2-point conversion is no good.
2-point conversion's no good.
Your Hounds still lead it here 47-0 over the Bobcats.
Yeah, just a low snap, and then, taking into account the weather, just hard to handle.
Yeah, clock continues to move. We're at 1:48, and we could gingerly put our team out there again. We could run this thing out. I think even in the gentleman's rule, it's supposed to
Be after half, but
yeah, and supposed to stop on touchdown.
yes.
There are some times when it is supposed to stop, but I think it's okay from everybody involved here to let it run.
I'll tell you, it got cool.
Yes, it has.
It's a cold, rainy, nasty night here.
Yeah, it feels like muzzleloading season.
Well, it is, Ben. I believe it comes in tomorrow.
Daylight, baby.
I heard that.
It feels like wintertime to me. That muzzle loading, it feels like wintertime.
Generally, those two are one and the same.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Cash Forster to kick off once again. Trying to get outside, and he does. And be brought down by Jalen Gist. There is a flag on the play.
I want to say it's illegal
Just on
block.
the stop.
The clock
Flag
continues.
on the play.
Clock continues to roll even after the flag.
Yeah, they'll be okay to run this thing out and go to half. And
Chop block against Corning.
Inside 20 seconds now, so.
Clock down to 13, 12. Now under 10 seconds, and they're going to let this thing just go to halftime.
well, we'll quickly get out of here. The Greyhounds lead at 47-0 at the half, and we have the second half action coming right up. Well, second half is here. We had a 10-minute half. You guys didn't see it at home, but we felt it right here, having to sit out here in this mess for 10 minutes. But, I mean, obviously, a football game that Hounds took control of early. I think 47-0. It'll be close to about 24 minutes. We're going to play 12 minutes right here. Then the clock will run out. I don't think they'll stop the clock for any particular reason. And the Hounds will win the football game. Pickett and Osceola, big score at the half, I guess 14-13. Pickett was leading at the half over Osceola, so that tells you that both of those guys are real good, as we suspected. And the Hounds will go to Pickett and then host Osceola. Hayden Schultz.
Corning's going to kick it off, and it looks like the ball's on the ground. And it looks like it's going to be an onside, and that's what they do. It's not going to go 10 yards, so the Hounds won't touch it. And we'll have great field position once again.
Well, the turnovers, the fumbles, the going for it on 4th down and 11 from your own 30-yard line, and I mean that can really make the score get out of hand. They're going to let the clock run, and
getting some of these younger guys in the ball game now. And it looks like Chris Reynolds is coming in at quarterback because Gavin Tarwater is the backup quarterback, and he went down early in the first quarter. Clemmy Alcorn, the tailback for the Greyhounds. Here's the snap. Give is to Clemmy. Clemmy getting outside. Clemmy is going to get outside. Clemmy still on his feet, cut across backfield, looking for a block, and Clemmy Alcorn is still on his feet. Clemmy Alcorn finally going to be brought down. Try to name some of these offensive linemen
on the carry.
Getting into the ball game. Some young guys, and Justin Simmons in the ball game. Hunter Hurst in the ball game. Weston Henderson Newport out there. Kevon Dixon out there on the offensive line. Jalen Gist out there at the receiver position.
So the ball must be inside the 10, 1st and goal here. Barely inside the 10 maybe.
Looks like we had a
read option maybe.
Bradley Clark on the stop.
I think Chris was trying to pull the football and couldn't get it pulled.
Well, I don't know how much they work him at quarterback in practice.
Reynolds
like you said,
carry.
Tarwater is the backup, and he went down earlier in the first half. So Chris going to try to knock the rust off of it.
Probably worked with Chris, I would guess, 10-minute half that we had. And so we're just going to.
Well, Chris played a little quarterback in Pee Wee football, and Chris going to keep it and finally be brought down.
Bradley Clark on the stop.
Jagger Robinson also out there on the offensive line.
Reynolds on the carry. 3rd down and goal.
Julius Pruitt out there at the H-back position. James Dixon also out at the receiver position. I believe that gives us 11.
Also want to thank John G. Pennington, all his work on getting those guys to the reunion. And what a night it was. It was a very special night for the 1968 Newport Greyhounds. Got to, call those guys' names out on the field, and Chris to throw, and
incomplete pass. It'll bring up 4th and
pass incomplete.
Goal from about the 14-yard line.
Brings up 4th down.
Clock down to 9 minutes here in the 3rd quarter. Hounds lead it 47-0 over Corning.
4th and goal from somewhere.
I'm going to say 14, David.
Good enough for me.
And it's hard. It's really hard to see, especially after they've been playing. Hard to see the white lines. And we're so spoiled with that turf that we have at our place. Here's the snap. We're going to give it to James Dixon, trying to get outside on the jet sweep. James Dixon will be brought down inside the 5, and it'll be a turnover for the Greyhounds.
Dixon on the carry.
Turnover on downs with 8:25 and the clock moving, 47-0 in favor of the Greyhounds.
Wheeler on the stop.
It's going to be a quick second half, and we'll be able to get home early. if it's doing any raining at all, it is very, very, very sporadic and light. But it has been a cold, dreary, breezy now. Wasn't breezy early, but it's a cold night.
Andrew Pitts, Justin Simmons, Kevon Dixon, Jagger Robinson out there for the defense. Here comes motion. They're going to give jet sweep, trying to get outside, and he's going to cut it back. And there's a big hit right there for the Hounds.
Amaker on the carry.
Find out who hit.
Did you say it, Josh?
Looked like number 8.
Justin Simmons.
Maybe it was.
Bad boy Moores. Hit of the week, Justin Simmons. What do you say? Boy, good lick.
I heard it up here.
Justin Simmons, that a baby.
Traz in the ball game at the linebacker position. Jalen playing some safety. Here's the snap, and they're going to go handoff up the middle. Played well by the Hound defense. Clemmy and Alcorn and Chris Reynolds in on that tackle.
Alcorn on the stop.
Desmond Grady in at defensive end. Ball was on the ground. The running back will pick it up, and he's going to be brought down, but it will be enough for a first.
Clock just under 6.5
Smith on the stop.
here in the third quarter.
That's another Corning.
George Kell Motor Company
First down.
player of the game, and of course the Subway coaches report immediately following the broadcast, and that's if they come tonight. I don't know that they will with the conditions the way they are. I want to thank Jeff and Lauren Sampson. I have thanked them for their donation to the 68 reunion.
Here's the snap, first and 10, looking to pass. Overthrown, Andrew Pitts in coverage there for the Hounds.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Jeff and Lauren for their
Pass
donation as
incomplete,
well.
intended for Ringo.
Miss Lynn Miner Hare and Linda Black brought us some leftover Subway sandwiches, and they were divine.
They were very, very good. That's why we were having a little trouble
Cookies,
last week.
too.
Yeah, cookies too. We couldn't broadcast there when they brought this stuff up. Our third down.
See, I had a rule. I had to eat 1 cookie per sandwich, and I ate about 6 sandwiches.
I saw you eat 10 ice cream sandwiches this week in one sitting.
Second and 10 for the Bobcats. Handoff trying to get outside. James Dixon going to be there to bring him
Richmond
down
on
for
the
the
carry.
stop. Good to see James out there getting some playing time. A guy who broke his
Dixon on the
leg
stop.
early in spring ball. James
Second down and 6 for
trying to
Corning.
get back to the swing of things, and they've used him some defense here and played him a little bit of offense. James, a guy who played a lot last year for the Greyhounds. And here's the snap. Quarterback's going to keep it, looking to go somewhere, and Clemmy Alcorn's there, and here comes 3 other hats. Traz Smith in on that tackle.
Grub on the carry. Flag
Flag
comes in at the
late.
end.
Who hit whom late?
I didn't see anything hit late. It could have been just mouth.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against
Unsportsmanlike on
Corning.
Corning.
Well, it's easy to get frustrated in a game like this. Down by 47 points with just under 4 minutes to go in the third quarter. But those guys are playing hard.
All right, Pee Wee team's in the playoff. Who all's in the playoff?
Got both teams in, 5th
Good.
and the 6th grade.
Good.
5th grade will play tomorrow at 9 o'clock
Okay,
at
Saturday.
Augusta. We got Valley View. And then the 6th grade will play at 11:30. And I'm not going to tell you who they play because I do not remember. But I know it is 11:30. Looking to throw it deep. Clemmy Alcorn there, and it's going to be
Pass
incomplete.
incomplete.
And there's another flag on the play, and
Flag comes
you
in
can see
late.
it from here. Jagger Robinson just gets hit smooth in the back.
Well, it's kind of gotten a little too chippy because there were several times in the first half that happened. And we understand the frustration. And
Well, I know this. It had to be an illegal hit for Jagger Robinson to go down.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against
One-on-one, I don't know that anybody can take him down to the ground. Just a tough, hard-nosed kid, strong.
It's going to be unsportsmanlike, and it's going to be half the distance to the goal for the Greyhounds, and we're going to have first down from the 6-yard line.
well, when you have your kickoff team, number one, sending one guy kamikaze to try to take somebody out, the opening, the rain starts up again. Look at the sheets of rain that we can see. I can see the rain because, like Ben says, it looks like it's snowing.
It feels like it's snowing, David.
But anyway, when you do that, then you're trying to.
You're asking for trouble.
You're asking for trouble. You're asking for some trouble.
Julius Pruitt outside, and he's going to walk in the end zone. Touchdown, Greyhounds.
Pruitt on the touchdown.
And I'm hurt. Here comes the point after. And no, it looks like the Hounds are going to go for two.
53-0.
Well, we don't have a deep snapper. Our deep snapper went down with Tarwater. Who is the backup?
Craig Falwell did.
Craig
early in the
Falwell.
year.
That's right. That's right.
And the rain is coming now harder than it's come all night long.
2-point conversion try for the Greyhounds is no good.
2-point conversion's no good.
This makes your score 53 Newport, Corning 0 with 1 minute remaining in the third quarter.
Cash comes out to kick right here. I'm not so sure that.
Need to be very careful with him.
After Cash kicked, I told him to run to the sideline. That's exactly what I tell him to do. There's no need.
Or to the other end zone.
Well, in these conditions here, I mean, you could slip and pull a muscle and.
Especially the way it's been getting chippy here late, and you don't want to see a guy get hurt.
Hounds are going to stay over on the sideline till at least the third quarter comes to an end, I think. And the conditions now are what you call miserable. They are miserable at this
You
stage.
took the word right out of my mouth.
We're going to have to change ends.
This reminds me of 2014 at Stuttgart, David.
Yes, yeah. Boy, what a,
I mean, it was freezing cold the entire game, and I believe the first quarter it drizzled, and then on second, third, fourth quarter it rained. I mean, I couldn't see couldn't see the guy in front of me.
Really?
It rained so hard.
I was involved in a game like that at Dollarway my junior year. We had a rain and lightning delay for about 2 hours prior to the game. We came out, warmed up, then had to go sit in the locker room about the size of a handicapped bathroom stall for 2.5 hours. And you talk about some restless young high school football players.
I've been to Dollarway, and I know that is a small locker room that they give you. And Rolando Nogue is going to come out now to kick off for the Greyhounds.
very smart on our guys to get Cash out of the football game.
Orlando, the high sky kick, and it is fumbled, and he will just go to a knee.
The rain continues to pour here at Bobcat Field.
We thank all of our great sponsors, help bring it to you, and we'll do a better job next week. And, of course, we'll be in the stands next week also over at Piggott before we get home to...
In their stands.
Yes, like we are this week at Corning's.
Piggott was a rowdy crowd last time we went
Oh, yes,
down
they
there.
were. Yeah.
He got rowdy, and And
Good crowd.
And when you wear that Newport on the front of your chest, I mean, you got that X beside your name. People want to beat you.
Well,
Sure.
When you're good, you have a target on your back. Nobody loves a winner.
And Piggott last
52-14 was.
I believe so.
I
mean, they just played hard.
They played hard that night.
They were nasty and physical. I mean, they just got after us. 1st and 10. And it's going to be a sack.
Ringo on the keeper.
Big Justin Simmons
he's everywhere.
with the sack. Justin going to get that bad boy hit of the week. I don't think anybody's going to beat it tonight. That was a big lick Justin had early.
10.5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. Clock will roll due to the gentleman's rule, as Hayden likes to call it.
The gentleman's roll. 2nd and 14, going to hand off and going to be brought down. Jalen Gist going to get credit for the tackle. Also, Andrew Pitts in on that one.
Gist on the stop.
Gist and Gist.
It's Gist. I went to school with
3rd down and 11 for Corning.
It's Gist. It's not Gist.
My grandmother's name was Gist.
That is correct. Lois Gist.
Rain seems to be slowing up.
3rd and 11, just going to go dive. Justin Simmons once again.
Grub on the carry.
Woo! The big man with another big tackle. Bring up
Simmons
4th
on the
down
stop.
and 6.
I was visiting with Coach Raymond Massey, who did not get to make the reunion this past weekend.
4th
Visited with him
down
on
and 6 for
Facebook,
Corning.
as a matter of fact. And we were kind of talking back and forth, and I said, you can remember back in 1971, we had a great junior class and a real solid senior class, and most of the guys were on the defense. He had 12 guys that played defense, and it was called the Dirty Dozen. And the Dirty Dozen had 12 guys. We'll talk through the play right here. And anyway, I was fortunate enough that I had a pretty good summer camp and pretty good running for a first down is
Grub on the carry.
Corning. But anyway, and
That's another Corning.
after the second football game, we had the Dirty Dozen +1, and I was the +1 guy. I was the 13th guy, and I got to play from the 3rd game on, and that was my sophomore year. And then the next year, we played for a state championship. Had a great. Well, you're talking about tandem running backs. The 68-69 team had Blaylock and Holden, and 71 and 72, it was Michael and Smith, Bubba Michael and Dr. Joe David Smith, and those guys could play.
Craig Falwell in on that tackle.
Big Craig.
Justin 62 at the bottom of that
Grub on the
pile
carry.
also. 8:14 to play, 53-0 Hound.
Falwell on the stop.
David, we talked a little bit about it earlier. What was the score to the Batesville? Was it 47-0?
46. 46 0.
Okay.
Beat Searcy the week before 48-0, and beat Batesville 46-0. And on that video, I have that game, and it is just incredible. I mean, you watch it, and if you know anything about football, and you watch those guys play defensively, and Batesville had a good football team that year. They were absolutely phenomenal. Of course, it was a different era, but man, Terry Dillon, he would stroke you. Dale Payne with the linebackers, and Ricky Harris also, came in next year. And I've often said about Ricky Harris, pound for pound, the best middle linebacker I ever saw. Just a great one. But Dillon and Payne were just phenomenal. And of course, talk about Blaylock and Holden, and Bill Phillips was the starting quarterback. Bobby Joe Forster played on that team and played a lot as a quarterback. And Bobby Joe was the quarterback of the state championship team the year before. The 10-0 team did not win a state championship. It was voted on by the media then. Incomplete pass. Clock continues to run under 6 minutes. Or is that under 5 minutes?
Pass incomplete.
Under 7.
Under 7.
Brings up 3rd down.
6:45 to go here in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I told you I couldn't see. But anyway, that football team, Mike Brand was he was the starting center, and the offensive guard, John Pennington on one side and Bobby Goss on the other, and then Gary Woo Woo Taylor was the Woo Woo Taylor, starting left tackle. Roger Brand, who went on and played at Arkansas, was, Mike did too, but he was a starting right tackle. Colonel or Major. Another big hit.
Grubb on the carry.
James Dixon and
Dixon on the stop.
can't see a number on there.
James Eddie Simmons was the split receiver, and Lewis Collier was the tight end. Gary McDonald played some there, and Buddy Connor was the late Buddy Connor was the starting fullback on that team, along with Blaylock and Holden. But just to watch these guys play, I was just so impressed. You win the game 46-0, and I'm more impressed with their defense than I was with the offense. I mean, just not that they were better than the offense, but it's just how those guys attack the football. And
That 4th down and 15, going to throw it up, and it will be caught
Pass complete to Wheeler.
and be brought down. And it's going to be a turnover on downs.
well, they're going to get a horrible, horrible spot. I mean, an absolute horrible.
There you go. They're going to fix it.
Yeah, they very well should. They earned that. That is
sure
correct.
did.
They earned that. That's a first down corner, and I'm glad they corrected that.
That's another corning.
You bet.
Well, I'll watch anything when the Greyhounds beat the Pioneers 46-0.
That's not right. That spot.
Well, they got 2 footballs out there.
I mean, he caught the ball.
Now they got the clock stopped at 4:42.
He needs to roll here.
Yeah,
There's 2 footballs out here.
Yeah.
So what are we judging?
well, one official put one there, and another official put one over there.
Well, obviously the one that's
I think
3 yards further is going to be a first down.
I think they're both. Yeah. Missed it by a yard. Come on, guys. It's raining. Give the guys the first down because they earned it.
Yeah, the ball was clearly.
And they're going to have to take one of those balls and throw it off. They're going to have to do that. There we go. They're going to have to throw one off.
Now the clock rolls inside 4:30.
Newport brought their ball out, and they spotted Newport's ball 2 years further back than the other ball was. Oh, my. 53-0 Hounds. Clock 4:10 moving.
1st and 10 for the Bobcats. Got a little dancing going on here in the stands. Going to throw the screen pass, and it's incomplete.
Pass incomplete.
Brings up 2nd down and 10 for the Bobcats. Clock just under 4 minutes remaining in the contest.
Second and 10 for Corning. Right around the 47-yard line. Here's the snap. Going to be a fumble snap. Quarterback will just jump on it.
Fumble on the play, recovered by Corning.
At the Pee Wee game, home Pee Wee game, we hosted Osceola, and I was asking you a question, and you were telling me your best call, Cersei 2000, with the
Cook.
Yeah.
and I
He said it, yeah.
and I went back and watched it, and I liked it.
It was my best call ever as a Newport Greyhound.
Well, you had another good one that game.
The block punt. Buki Greer.
Yep.
Speaking of Buki Greer, I saw Buki Greer and Kenyon Miller together last night at your local Walmart store.
Well, that was a pair.
Yeah.
I remember you on the broadcast. You said
Loss on the play brings up 4th down for Corning.
4th down and long. Stay back, guys. Don't even try to rush.
Don't even try to rush.
And then the next thing out of his mouth, Buki Greer. Or he said, blocked by Buki Greer.
Picked it up, ran in for a touchdown.
Yeah, he did. He dropped the ball. He fumbled it at about the 10, picked it back up, and then ran it in for a touchdown after blocking the punt that we told him not to even rush on.
I had that happen at Southside, and Coach Harrison, he chewed me out. And the guy in front of me did not move, and I took 3 steps, and they do one of the punts, they punt from the quarterback position.
Right.
And the guy's supposed to roll out, and and they're going to get a catch there, and looks like it's going to be close to a first down. They're going to signal first
Pass
down.
complete to Wheeler.
And the guy was about 4 yards deep, and the guy and they knew, and we had the
That's
game
another
handed
corner.
to us, and we were up big. I think by 30 at the time, and they told Coach Hinesley told us, "Hey, don't do anything stupid, don't do anything crazy." The guy didn't block me; he just ran down the field. I took 2 steps forward, and the punter punted the ball right into my chest. and they got incomplete pass for Corning, and I remember Coach Harrison came over there and
That's
he chewed
incomplete.
it. What are you doing? And we
What'd
went
you
back.
say?
We went back, and I said, Coach, the guy didn't block me. I didn't do anything. We went back and watched it on film, and he said, if that happens, and of course when it happened, I knew that he told me, so I knew that I was going to get in trouble. I knew when I so when the ball was on the ground, the only thing was in my mind is I got to score, and maybe he won't be as mad.
There you go.
Going to throw the seam route. It's got a guy open. And Jalen Gist, Andrew Pitt's going to bring him down inside a minute now.
Pass complete to Ringo.
Yeah, they're going to call timeout here.
Timeout, Corning.
That's okay. It's just been a dominating game for the Hounds tonight. We thought coming in that the Corning might be a little short-handed. And we got to sit out here in this nice, cold weather.
I'm ready to get in my truck
I am too.
and go home.
I am too.
It is cold and nasty.
I am ready to get into my deer blind as well as Josh. I know Nation is ready to get into his deer stand.
Josh Nation, the cameraman.
Does a great job.
First year starter here on the broadcast. I think he's going to let her.
I started saying not even a letter winner yet, is he? Yeah, he's played in enough quarters, I guess, to go ahead and get a letter.
7 games, and
Yeah.
you only guaranteed 10.
Yeah, I guess it's enough.
Yeah, he hadn't dropped the camera or forgot to press record or anything.
I guess this will be game number 8. So yeah, Josh.
Yeah, he's Letterman.
We'll get you a patch.
You 2-year Letterman, aren't you? Well, we'll probably give you half a year for those years he's worth of radio.
Okay.
So you're about a 4-year Letterman.
Okay, I'll take it.
4-year Letterman.
Throwing it up, Chris Reynolds is going to
Look,
intercept
Chris.
it in the end zone.
Look at Chris. Look
Pass
at Chris.
intercepted.
Look at Chris. I bet Amanda and Chris are watching this thing all the way through. 40 seconds to go, and the clock's going to run out right here. The Hounds just with a dominating effort. Final thoughts, Ben, before we get off here.
Well, we go to Piggott next week, and we got a score report at halftime. I believe it was 14-13. Piggott. Was it Osceola over Piggott?
Osceola over Piggott, I believe.
14-13. We knew that was going to be a good game, and we know going into the game next week we're going to really have to step it up and play some ball.
I thought he said Pickett over Oast, but it really doesn't matter because somebody else is going to score.
Yeah, the game's not going to end 14.
No, absolutely not. We're going to let the clock run out. Hounds win this thing 53-0. We don't know whether Coach Hinesley will be up or not, but if not, the big hit, the Bad Boy Moore hit of the week goes to
Justin Simmons.
What a big hit. He had a good night coming in and playing real hard, and just one of those nights that you have to come play, and you win it 53-0. And then we're going to try to get a score right here at what is the score?
Osceola 19, Piggott 14.
Okay, so Piggott was ahead 14-13. Yeah,
The next home game is the last.
So anyway, that'll do it. Ben Black says we're about ready to go. So 53-0 Hounds. If the guys come up, that's great. If not, we'll try to get them with them this week. George Kell Motor Company player of the game 2 years in a row at Corning. Connor Prince, one of the offensive, defensive linemen, and just a wonderful football game for you guys. Connor, talk a little bit about playing in these weather conditions that we had tonight.
I told Coach before I graduated, I want to play in the rain, and that's what we got. I loved it. It was awesome.
It was out there. Well, it was cold up here. Did you get cold at all?
Not until we got out in the third and fourth quarter. It was very cold.
Yeah, I bet. We'll talk a little bit about our performance tonight. Offensive line took control early on y'all side. Defensive line took control. I mean, it was just we thought it happened the way we thought it was going to happen.
Yes, sir. We did. Our offensive line is awesome. Our running backs are even better. They make us look a lot better than. I mean, we're a great offensive line, but they're great running backs, all of them, and our receivers are awesome as well.
Well, and Joe Brodus got to come back and play. Senior come back from ACL, and just glad to get that guy, back with our football team, and he deserves some playing time.
Oh, he did awesome. I don't think he missed a beat. He came back in and ran hard, and that's all we could ask for.
talk about preparation. We've got a couple of games left. Piggott and Osceola were battling, I think,
yes, sir.
14-13 at the half, favor Piggott, 19-14 third quarter Osceola. We got Piggott this coming week. I want to look ahead a little bit. And you got 2 games left in your senior year. What's the thought process going forward from here through the end of your career?
I want to win out because we lost to both teams next year, and I'm ready for payback. I'm ready for both of them.
Well, it's got to happen, and I know
Yes,
the
sir.
preparation will come this week.
Yes,
and I guess you guys will get back to work Monday. And just tell me how this week went as far as preparation goes for a Corning team that probably didn't match up very well against Greyhound. How was the preparation?
It was a big focus week. Like we went in Monday, and
The lights went out, and we will continue to talk. Just go right ahead, Connor.
We went in Monday and watched film, and then we went outside and watched their alignment. Well, Tuesday we went out and then practiced them, and he was like, "This is a big focus game. If you let a team like this hang around, you know what I mean. Don't let them hang around. Get on top of them early."
Well, we did that, and there's no doubt it's exciting to be 5-0 in the conference. We're undefeated. We can't look ahead to Osceola. Got a tough Piggott ball game at Piggott again.
Piggott, yes,
we
sir.
went over there last year and didn't play real well. Those guys played great. We played good, but those guys played a little better than we did last year.
We'll be ready for sure. We're gonna come out hot. I'm sure of it.
I hope so, my friend. Connor Prince, he's the George Kell Motor Company Player of the Game.
Yes, sir.
Let me get his microphone up here. All right, here we go. You ready? Oh, we're going. Yeah, I guess we're ready. When that red light's on,
Here we go.
I don't see real well. Action. I don't see real well, but when the red light comes on, that means we're on. So, anyway, Subway coaches report. Coach Hams did what they had to do tonight to get a victory.
Yeah, and you know, that's what I told the kids. I said it on the radio a while ago. It's a trap game, and it's all about awareness, and it's all about being smart. And our kids showed awareness at times, you know, because it's like I said, it's like when you're going down the highway. It's not you're driving you're worried about. Sometimes it's the other person.
Sure.
And that's what I told the kids about. Is you got to have awareness, and you got to know what they're trying to do in front of you. And our kids got to be smart because they're playing for nothing, and we're playing for everything. So,
right.
you know, that's why I call it a trap game. And for us to come out fairly healthy with a win is big.
Well, and we just dominated the football game, which, you know, we were supposed to. I mean,
Right.
that's what we were supposed to do. If you look at and compare scores, and they were a little overmatched.
Yeah.
And but anyway, we did what we had to do. I want to look ahead a little bit, and I know you probably haven't looked much, but we got 2 big football games coming up for the Newport Greyhounds. Not do or die, but anyway,
well,
they're big.
Every next game is the biggest game of our season.
You bet.
And the next 2 are. And we really have to prepare the next 2 weeks and come out and play our best ball these last 2 games. And but that's where you're supposed to be in the season. You're supposed to play your best games at the end. You're supposed to be, you know, sharp, and you're supposed to be crisp. And so we got to come out these next 2 weeks, prepare. And it's like I was just talking to Ben a while ago. We don't want to have ifs, ands, and buts. We want to beat everybody and be conference champions. We don't want who won and who lost. We want to beat everybody.
Well, the thing about it, you don't have to worry about the points, and you don't have to worry about we're 2-1, or I got 1 loss and they got 1 loss and somebody got 2. If you win them all, you're the conference champ. There's no doubt about it. A goal that we have that every year. We want to be the conference champion every year, so it's not any different than any other year that we.
Well, it's like I tell the kids, you want to be that one to get the best seed you can going into playoffs, and then just go as deep as you can in playoffs, and that's the ultimate goal, and it's right here in front of us.
Well, it was a miserable night to play football, no doubt about it. Miserable night to be out here, and I like to froze to death.
I'll say this about our kids: is I was worried about him too, because you never know. But this is a true gritty team, because we come out and I challenge them out here in this rain, and they come out here fired up, ready to go.
Yeah, Connor said he always hoped to play in one.
That's what we told him. I said, you'll always remember this game just because of the weather, and we talk about controlling all the time, and don't let the weather control you, and the refs control you. And our kids come out ready to play tonight, and I was excited about that.
Well, no doubt, a big victory for the Hounds. I mean, we go to 7-0, and 5-0 in the conference. I'm sitting here in 2 weeks from now thinking 7-0. I like that. I like that feeling. I
hope.
But anyway, I know you guys will get right back to work. And anything changed preparation this coming week? Anything changed from the routine?
No. A lot of times when we get this deep in the season like this, we'll pull back on a little of the individual stuff sometimes.
Yeah.
And we'll go more team just to make sure. We'll probably do less hitting. We'll probably do a lot more thudding and tagging. And it's just trying to stay as healthy as we can and trying to get as crisp we can on our execution. That's why we go a lot more team.
Talk a little bit about the 2 injuries that we had tonight. You kind of got a little report on those guys.
Yeah, the one of them, a kid dove on Gavin down here as he was snapping on the PAT. I'm not sure his severity of his injury, but he was hurting pretty bad. Still couldn't, walk off. He had trouble walking off.
Wow.
Julius I'm not. I didn't get the final report when I was walking off, but he could put a little bit of pressure down. So I think his was just a turn ankle. But once again, it was a dive in on him. And I think Julius. I think he'll be back. I think he'll be ready to go. But Gavin, I just have to keep seeing get a final report on that.
Coach, congratulations. The Hounds, we've got a marvelous season going. There's a lot of football left for this football team.
So.
There's no doubt about it. And I'm looking forward to the stretch run.
I am too.
Mark Hinesley, head football coach, athletic director of the Newport Greyhounds. And go Hounds.